and welcome to St. Croix Paranormal's TV show. I'm Jill.
I'm Teresa.
I'm Krista.
I'm Steve.
I'm Stephanie.
And today we're going to talk about the fourth most terrifying place in America, and that was Whispers Estate in Mitchell, Indiana. We had an awesome time, and it was just a really, really creepy, interesting place. History on the house. It was built in the 1900s, and it was run by Dr. John Gibbons. And he was pretty much an unethical doctor as far as what they can tell. He did some unethical surgical procedures as well as some unethical things with his female patients. Any of the unnecessary amputations that he would do, the body parts would be in the back, and now there's a garage on top of it, and they just called it the pit, and they threw the body parts into there. As well as they had a little girl, Rachel, had accidentally started a fire in the parlor, and she severely burned and died about 3 days later in the home. Jessie, the mother, had passed away due to a pneumonia. There's been a guy that has fallen and slipped out of the tub and broke his neck. There's a little boy that's fallen down the stairs and died. There's a guy who died the day of his retirement. Just a lot of deaths, a lot of history going on. I believe 4 of them are buried out in the backyard as well, so we did get a lot of interesting experiences. Whispers is known for shadows. They have something called Big Black, which is supposedly not of this world. It's just like a black humanoid
mass. It's like a black mass.
Black mass, black shadow, something like that. Stayed watched over us and took care of us. And you were seeing things, you said.
When they decided to lay down and they were resting, I was sitting there playing on my phone because all I could think was, if there's something in here, I don't want to see it. Like, I'm just going to sit and focus. There was a light on in the other room, but it was very faint coming through the doorway. And as I was sitting, I was in the main area. And along the wall, like through my peripheral vision, I just saw like something move. It was very slow, and there was no way I was going to look up and see what it was.
And you heard footsteps too sometimes.
Footsteps, yeah. And you know, Steve was outside napping on the porch, and the ladies were all resting
in Big Black's room, which is next door to the doctor's room.
And I just heard this, like, you know, little tapping of feet, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I'm just going to sit here and let everybody rest, and we'll talk about it when they get up.
And then there was Jessie's room, and that is where the mother had passed away of pneumonia. I personally didn't get a lot of experiences in there, but Teresa and Steph did, because Steph was cool and she laid in the bed. So.
Well, I remember on the tour, as you know, the 2 hostesses were bringing us up the stairs, and they did it room by room, so you know it was pretty, you know, straightforward. And as we walked in, they were like, "How do you feel in here?" And it felt like someone was pressing against my chest, like trying to suffocate me.
Yeah.
And
I felt that also.
Yeah,
it was a very heavy feeling.
And you had some stuff go on with you too, didn't you? With the K2 and
I decided to sit down with the K2 meter and see if I could get some involvement in some circle time, where we sing songs, you know, play games, whatever. And the K2 meter just went crazy when I asked the kids to sit down. And so I said I was going to sing a song. And so I told them about a song that we like to sing.
And she sang Wheels of the Bus Go Round and Round. It got in my head. It was great.
Right.
Yeah.
You actually told me stop singing that song.
I did.
So I sang that, yeah, and the K2 just lit all the way up to the red. It was so cool.
Down too. It's supposed to be the nursery. I see a crib.
Nope, this is
No?
actually Jesse's chamber. Master bedroom. So how you guys feeling here?
Cold. Chilly. I felt a little bit heavy in my chest in this room. Right? Yeah. Like something's pressing on me? Mm-hmm. A little bit.
Yeah, there's like a heaviness
There's
to
a
this.
yeah. It's only in my chest though. I don't feel it
Okay.
around my head.
So, in 1934, after only having pneumonia for 5 days, Jesse retired. Oftentimes when people come into this room, they do feel that in their chest, and they also start coughing. I've seen it to where they actually have to leave the house for the coughing to stop. So when we allowed sleeping in the house, people would also wake up saying that they felt as if something was sitting on their chest, or they felt very tight-chested, heavy on their chest.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah, right?
That's really intense. Yeah.
This is the only room in the house where the owner will not sleep. Oftentimes we've had people report smells of baby powder in this room and rotting flesh.
It does smell like baby in here.
The crib is here because Legend and Lauren Gibbons also adopted an infant by the name of Sarah Elizabeth, but she retired after 10 months. So,
Did they know how she passed, or?
no. There's a family that still lives here in Mitchell. They rented the house at one time. They rented the entire second floor. They had 9-year-old Gary, was a special needs child, had hydrocephalus with a shunt. Do you guys know what that is?
Yep.
We were first told that Gary retired from a fall from the front staircase. This happened at 2 a.m. When I asked more details about that a year later from the same family member, I was immediately corrected and said, no, that what happened was his shunt malfunctioned. But, you know, it could have been that his shunt malfunctioned and somehow or another the door was open and he fell. So. But we do know that he loved it and had to go seek. They said that they always knew where they could find him, and that was in the linen closet at the time. Someone, Steve, will you open that door?
Yep.
This is what we call Gary's closet.
Look at all of his toys.
They've all been donated. Gary loves to play with his cars, and we've had people that sit out here and then roll cars in there to him. And one time the blue one came back. We've had people sitting in here, and they heard his toys moving around in there. This door is known for opening up on its own. It does swing so far. Usually it's found like this. Myself, another staff, we've sat in this room and asked Gary to open his door, and it has happened right in front of us. Numerous videos of this door and the one behind me opening up on its own. So you actually hear the knob turn and click, and then the door opens. Because you don't know what it is at first, and then you're just like, what? And then you see the door.
So is this the bed I read about was the interview with the vampire?
Yes.
Very cool.
Did they film that here, or did they just use this bed?
It's legend and lore. It's reported to be the bed that is a replica of it.
One interesting thing too that happened in the attic is as we were getting ready, we were setting up, these girls ended up smelling something. What were you guys smelling?
Perfume, I guess. It was just an average perfume, but it was everywhere, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, just
How do
up
you
in the
explain
attic
it?
and,
I mean, the whole house, I mean, granted, in the attic there was some stuff where the homeowner tried to, do that stuff. So it smells kind of like new home, new materials
New
kind
wood,
of thing.
yeah.
And then, downstairs it smells like the typical old house. So if you have smells, you're going to notice something different, something out of place.
I think we came down later in the evening. You were in the base camp room, and you said you had smelled it.
There was something just walked by me, and I could just follow the smell all the way up to the steps. It was, I was the only one down there getting gear stuff, more batteries and stuff, and I just felt a cold dig and smell, and you could just follow the smell all the way up to the stairwell. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and none of us girls wear perfume when we are on investigation just for that particular reason, so that we do know it's not one of us. So we find that very interesting. And again, spirits like to communicate through different sounds, smells, moving things, showing stuff. So the attic. We did get quite a few interesting experiences that happened up there. Teresa had a really interesting one at about 4 in the morning when we were just checking all the cameras just before we were heading to bed, and it was kind of weird. So what happened to you, Teresa?
Well, we had just come up the stairs, and I had taken a step, and it felt like I stepped on somebody's foot. And so I said, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then I looked around, and you said,
Yeah, I go, there's nobody behind
Yeah,
you, and you
no.
start freaking out. What? So it was just kind of, I mean, you kind of know when you step back.
I looked around on the floor. There was,
Nothing there.
nothing there. But yeah, it felt like a foot. I mean, when you step on something.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Where's the service?
I just caught a whiff of something for an
I smell
instant.
perfume.
It was for an instant.
I smell like flowery perfume. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know who stepped on it. Sorry. There's nobody behind me. What? There's somebody there. There's nobody there. I stepped back and my foot. Oh, I
This hallway here within the past 6 months maybe is definitely someplace that you're going to want to check out. Without any lights, anything, we'll sit up here. In fact, we did this last night. And then sit in this room and look down this way. It seems to be if you have like less people up here while you're doing that, more things will happen. I won't tell you what, maybe later. But definitely this hallway. So we had a renter at one time. He was only the renter at the house. At the time it was in the summer, it was in the late 70s. He was taking a bath, and upon exiting the tub he fell, slipped, and broke his neck. And nobody found him up here for 3 days, which could be that rotting flesh smell. We've had reports of an entity coming from that wall going into that wall.
the attic. There's 3 rooms to the attic. They have one that's called the portal, where they think that there is a portal to this house where the spirits come and go. They have a seance room, and then they just have another room that's like really nothing. The spirit box session was very, very interesting with the attic. We had asked if they had scratched anyone, and I get a guy saying once, immediately, in response to the question. Krista asked a really, really interesting question with the most awesome response. Krista, do you want to talk about that question?
As we're sitting there, I just asked, what should we know about this house? And on the recorders you guys got.
Yeah, all of a sudden, I mean, the craziest thing, it says, get out while you can. So I just was like, okay. So far we've had the scratches, we've had the spirit tell us to don't stay here, get out while you can, that they scratch and that they bite. So most people would probably leave at this point, but not us.
This is what we call the nursery. I don't know why it's called the nursery. Back in the day, this wall was more than likely not here. There's a bathroom on the other side of this wall. These stairs here were the pull-down kind. Okay.
For an attic, okay.
A previous owner started redoing this up here and left before it was completed. He couldn't take the house any longer. The wall sconce there has come off the wall. Miss Brave Saunders standing over here underneath the stairs. That's where the 9-year-old girl was when she got scratched. We had a investigator new to the paranormal world. His first ghost hunt was here. He was sitting right here on the floor, had his hand on the floor, and something pulled his finger so hard that it left a scar. And the owner was coming down these steps here, and something grabbed the front of his ankles and pulled him forward. And he's the one with the injury.
That was that one with that big cut that you showed us?
Yeah, he had to have 8 stitches in his eye, and he's got scars on both of his arms. He no longer sleeps alone in the house. If another staff is here, he's good to go. But he will not stay here any longer. His first room right there. That's what we call the seance room. Make sure that you stand out here and take pictures in that mirror, and then in that room, standing right there is a creepy mirror. We've got some pretty creepy images in the mirror. The seance room, we usually sit around the table there, use our K2, mag light, red pen, EVPs in that room, creepy images, people get touched, a whole gamut of things in there. That's where the eyes were captured. This is what we call the middle room. Don't have a lot to say about this room. Doesn't seem to get investigated a lot. However, there was a jack came out of this room. In fact, I think it's right there because they put it back. And a pair of red eyes was seen in this room.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's this room? This is the room where people have vivid dreams.
This is what's known as the heart of the house. It's known for the lucid dreaming, night terrors, nightmares. It's reported that over there in front of the mirror is the vortex. Over here on the couch is where the police officer was bit. And I'm sure you guys read, I don't like to brag about it, but this is where I had my experience and Gwen's experience. It's online. It's also posted right here. It happened to me here. You guys can read that later. Or the mag light, or even the K2 up here, and you ask who it is, it's always like Gary. But I'm here to tell you that this up here is different than the rest of the house, and I highly doubt that Gary would come up here. There is a male that we call the man in the attic known up here, and the common EVP up here is of a male voice saying get out.
Do you feel that?
I am freaking freezing right now.
No, the floor feels like it's...
Oh, but I'm just...
That's how we
Goosebumps
felt
like
out there. We
crazy.
felt like we're in...
I've gotten this like 4 times, like just totally the whole body goosebumps from head to toe while we've been standing here talking on different things. Which is cool. That means things are going to go good tonight.
Have you ever scratched anybody? Whispers Estate, we had a great time. We had a lot of evidence. I think with all the warnings that we had received prior, all the touching, all the goosebumps, all kind of led up to letting us know that, hey, if you keep it up, you continue, somebody's going to get hurt. Unfortunately, it was Teresa that experienced that. I don't know why they targeted her. I don't know if it started because she got the scratch first and they just decided to target her.
She's new.
She's our newest girl.
She's
That
the
could be
weakest
it.
link.
But just a lot of fun, interesting. I definitely will go with that. It is a very creepy place. A lot of stuff happens. So if you do get the chance to get out to Indiana, definitely take a look at Whispers Estate because you're definitely going to get something if you go.
Absolutely.
Even just the daytime tour.
Yeah, you'll definitely.
Highly recommended. Very fun.
But that about wraps it up for our show. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to check us out on YouTube and like us on Facebook. And have a good night.